Scott.
I'm Liz.
And this is a review. Wow, you sound confused.
I'm Liz, I think.
On tonight's episode, which is episode 72, we'll be reviewing Dark Phoenix.
You forgot the title for a second.
I was gonna say X-Men Dark Phoenix.
It's not in the title,
it's
though.
Just Dark Phoenix.
It's just Dark Phoenix.
So, Just Dark Phoenix stars Sansa from Game of Thrones.
Sophie Turner.
It stars Michael Fassbender.
James McAvoy.
Thank you.
Yes.
Lots of other people's. Ty Sheridan.
Yes.
I just learned his name. And they're the X-Men. And Jean Grey, she bad.
Yeah.
And they gotta reckon with her being bad.
She basically becomes the Phoenix, which is, I believe, her alter ego at some point in the comics.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even though she did that in the last movie. Liz, what did you think about Dark Phoenix?
Okay, here's the dizzle. I didn't have high hopes going into this film, and so I thought, okay, maybe it won't be as bad if you go in with low expectations. No, it was trash. It was bad. There was just definitely points when I looked over at you and you were restless. Jackson next to me was restless. I was restless.
I've never been so restless in a movie. This is literally the most restless I have ever been, where I felt like my legs were going to jump off my body and run out the theater.
Right.
I wanted to do that also.
And it almost kind of reminded me a little bit of the last season of Game of Thrones, because it felt like the writing was so bad that it almost looked like the actors did not want to be there.
Also Sansa. I mean,
yeah, and Sophie Turner obviously definitely makes me think of Game of Thrones, but it's just...
Full disclosure, I didn't see the last X-Men movie.
Apocalypse, right? Yeah.
And from what I've gathered, it doesn't matter.
No.
They introduced Jean Grey in that movie.
Yes.
Or reintroduced Sophie Turner as...
Ty Sheridan as Cyclops, and then his older brother... Not Alex Summers. His
the guy
older
that was
brother,
in First Class and Days of Future Past.
He dies.
Okay.
And then you meet Nightcrawler and you meet Storm. And that's about it.
Don't you meet Storm in Days of Future Past also? Or maybe not.
I think you only the
she's
older
there.
version. Halle Berry's Storm is there. I don't think the younger version of Storm is there.
First of all, these movies have the most confusing lore or continuity that has ever existed.
100%.
And so me missing that last one, okay, they introduced a lot of the X-Men that we know and
which
love.
you already know, especially if you watch the first trilogy.
See, I'm not super familiar with X-Men as much as I am with the other Marvel stuff, so I kind of just thought a lot of these people were just already in First Class. I didn't realize there was two Cyclopses. I'm he's using his chest. That's weird. Maybe he'll eventually use his face.
Yeah. Well, I remember watching First Class and they're like, oh, this is Alex Summers. And I'm like, wait, is that supposed to be in relation to Scott Summers? And it is. But I didn't realize that they killed Alex Summers off. But
it makes sense.
Apocalypse, I thought Days of Future Past of this current trilogy was the best. And then Apocalypse kind of not so great. And so I was not expecting much from Dark Phoenix at all. Yeah,
I liked First Class and Days of Future Past quite a bit. I thought they had an interesting thing going, but I didn't honestly think they were going to keep up. I thought they were going to kind of just reboot and keep, you know what I mean? And they kind of have, but kind of haven't.
It almost felt that when they did Days of Future Past and they brought in the older actors, that they were going to then continue with the older actors like the first trilogy again.
Yeah.
That's what it seemed like.
It's very awkward.
And then they just took on this new, path. And then I feel like they totally just destroyed it, though.
I think they just gave up. So this movie kind of just starts with them doing okay, it's the USA's in space, and now they're going to do a space mission for the first time.
Oh, yeah.
Which in all fairness, for this movie, I actually like the space mission.
That was kind of cool.
When okay, Nightcrawler has to teleport Speedy McSpeederson into
Quicksilver.
Yeah.
There you go.
into the spaceship, and then he's zooming around doing his thing, and it was a teamwork, and they were all working together, and it was okay, this is what I want from this movie. And then the alien shit starts happening, and she gets infected.
Yeah.
And it goes very okay, she's bad. It was very Captain Marvel, first of all.
Yeah,
it was weirdly light Captain Marvel, where you have these shape-shifting aliens that are after this cosmic power that has been transcribed into a woman.
Jean Grey.
Yeah.
It did feel very Captain Marvel.
But then it kind of just...
Yeah, and then they just started killing characters left and right and, like, finding reasons for them to not be in the rest of the film. Like, Quicksilver gets injured in space, and then you don't see Evan Peters until, like, the very end. And he's arguably one of the more enjoyable characters from this current
He's always been great.
Trilogy.
I mean, he has that... Oh, yeah, he has that scene where he's in the trailers, you see it, where he's, like, jumping up on the planks.
And, like, in Apocalypse, there's a scene where he saves everyone from an explosion. And they're just like, oh, he's injured. He's not here anymore. And then Jean kills Mystique.
Yeah, which, okay... Spoilers, but we all kind of knew that was going to happen, I feel like.
Well, from the trailer, they kind of made it seem like that was what was going to happen.
Jennifer Lawrence has not wanted to be in these movies since the first one.
Oh, yeah. No,
because her career took off, like, during that one, and then, like, putting on that blue makeup is just, like, it's like she's never in it, barely. Mm-hmm. Like, and when she is, she looks so fucking pissed.
Yeah, she wasn't in it this much in this film, that's for sure. No,
and then they off her for virtually no reason because, you know, Jean Grey on that angry space stuff.
Yeah,
you know, like
did they even say what it was? I don't even think they had a name for this weird cosmic power.
Yeah, they might have.
The Phoenix or whatever.
They might have, and I just couldn't.
And we just missed it because they didn't really do a good job of setting anything up.
Well, the bad guy aliens, like I said, they're shapeshifters, so they are just looking like regular people wearing flannels the whole movie.
Yeah.
Which has become this weird trend we've been seeing in every movie, like Men in Black. We haven't seen it yet, but like that did it in that too, where like all the Men in Black agents are like copies, and it's like it's a really lazy way to get around.
It's a lazy way of getting around, I think, like animation and CGI and things like that too.
Totally,
like, you're kind of just looking for a cop out in that.
Yeah, and like, who was the main? What was the actress that?
It was Jessica Chastain.
That's right. And it's like, really, she's just playing a human copy of a.
She was and she's an absolutely incredible actor, and so I was expecting like, oh my god, she's gonna be this really kick-ass character, but she was just kind of there. Like, she didn't do anything.
Well, those aliens' motivation was so weak. It's like, oh, they want to get this cosmic power that the X-Men absorbed while it just is all disconnected. It was like they were part of a solar flare, but then what did that happen? It was just like by chance that happened, or like I don't know.
Yeah, and I think it all kind of just goes back to the script. Like there's just flaws in the storytelling. Like we don't have enough motivation from the antagonist. Like and then we haven't even talked about kind of the big main players that have been in most of these movies, who are Charles Xavier and Magneto, who have fucking nothing to do. Literally, no, not at all. And they try to make Professor X, like look like the bad guy.
Yeah, like they're making him out to be like this fame whore all of a sudden, which like I was really like, obviously I didn't watch the last one, but from what I've heard, that just like appeared in this movie.
No, it was out of character, and because he's always been this very kind, nurturing person. I mean, that's why he opens this school in the first place.
But there's nothing even that he does to support that. Like when they start saying that to him, it's like,
right? It's just like, wait, what? I wasn't thinking that. You know, it's like they're putting it on him.
Yeah, it's weird, and I guess like I could see that being an interesting take on the character or whatever, but like they don't do anything to develop it, and it's just kind of there. And then like he doesn't play it, like he doesn't like deny it either, like he kind of does, but like I don't know, it's weird.
But at the end he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I've been bad or whatever, and
he acknowledges that he fucked up. It's like, but how?
I mean, but again, it's not really his fault. I mean,
like you suppress some horrible memories from a girl,
right? And like, okay, in his defense, he kind of was, you know, I mean, he was trying to save her from the truth, which is that her dad didn't want her anymore. I mean, I can understand where he's coming from. Like,
she had the same origin story, she had
as Captain Marvel, didn't she?
Well, no, also the villain in Shazam.
Yes! I was thinking that too, because the opening scene is the car crash, and I was like, this feels very familiar, and it's funny that you bring up Shazam, because that's exactly what I was thinking.
It's just a lot of mismatched pieces of other movies. That's what this feels like.
Yeah.
Where it's like Captain Marvel with the shapeshifting stuff, and it's like, yeah, other movies have shapeshifters, other movies have car accident parent stuff, but like the way that they did it felt very like it's executed very similarly.
It's just, if it all around just felt lazy to me.
So you saw Apocalypse.
I did.
What happens where's Magneto at the end of the movie? Like, let's skip over his journey and just where does he kind of end up at the end of that movie?
Well, I remember, because at one point he's kind of sided with Apocalypse, which was Oscar Isaac's character, the antagonist.
Right.
And Mystique eventually goes to him and is like, she kind of talks him down. And I think I kind of forgot about a lot of Apocalypse. I probably should have rewatched it before I went and saw this one.
Probably
But
not.
when we meet Magneto and Dark Phoenix, he's living in that
He's like
community.
on a compound.
Yeah, where
so they do introduce that though.
I think he says something along the lines of like, I kind of just want to live away, like where I want to just live with other mutants kind of thing.
Isn't there like an island, Genosha?
Yeah.
Isn't that supposed?
I think
what that's supposed to be?
Supposed to be.
I was wondering that because once again, I'm
didn't-
not super like in on the X-Men lore as much, but I know about Genosha. I know like it gets like basically it's like Holocaust like nuked or something, right? At some point, and then like the X-Men go like Last Stand or whatever, but.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like,
Wow.
I don't know, but something like that. I mean, some X-Men fans can be listening and be like, that's wrong.
Right. They're they'll come. You can comment below. Let us know if we're wrong.
Yeah. I don't care.
But yeah, it definitely like when we meet Magneto, it just seems like his backstory and his motivation for what he wants is very half-assed.
Well, and when he starts like getting involved with the story, it feels like he shouldn't be getting involved.
Yeah.
Like, Jean Grey kind of like shows up and starts like goading him into being an asshole. And then he's like, okay, fine, I'll be an asshole.
Right.
Like,
and he's like, can you just leave me alone? And then when Hank McCoy, Beast, shows up and he's like, oh, she killed Mystique. And he's just like,
oh, that's right. He does. Okay.
And he flips out because he was like in love with her or like used to be or something. Even though they haven't.
He was like Drake with Millie Bobby Brown.
Yeah. Oh my God. Hilarious.
Yeah, no. So then that leads us to kind of this big climax where they end up, because Magneto ends up, they all team up together with Xavier and all the X-Men to try to fight.
Well, then they end up
Phoenix.
in New York because it's Hank McCoy or Beast and Magneto trying to kill Jean, and then Professor X, Nightcrawler, and Storm and Cyclops trying to save her, and they're like fighting each other.
And then what's the big line?
Oh, and then Ty Sheridan, who plays Cyclops, this little 23-year-old actor. Haha. I mean, I'm 23. I don't know why I'm saying that. But anyways,
Ty Sheridan from Ready Player One.
He just has this major.
Always wears goggles.
Yeah, he just has this major baby face, and he like goes up to, I think, who is it, Magneto or something?
Yeah, he walks up to Magneto.
He goes, if you touch her, I'll fucking kill you.
If you touch Jean, I'll fucking kill you. That's what they drop their one F-bomb.
all seriousness, and you're just like, oh, honey.
It's supposed to be like a stage, like a mic drop moment.
Yeah, and it just like...
It's laugh out loud.
Yeah, it's like a balloon deflating, just like, okay.
Ty Sheridan is like Ansel Elgort, the guy that plays Baby Driver, but like he's doing an impression of him. It's like an SNL, like a bad SNL impression
of Ansel Elgort. With the oh my God.
Like in every movie he's in, they're like, you can't look at his eyes. Like he's
he's always wearing goggles. Ready Player One. This one he has to wear his sunglasses. Also, I love how they just like go, oh yeah, by the way, Jean and Scott Summers are dating now, and you're just like,
they just shoehorn in so much exposition about these characters that, like, once again, I guess like they've already set this up in a lot of the previous X-Men movies, so you're supposed to assume it's I guess that's their way of like getting out of it. They're like, well, it happens eventually, so like, why do we have to show you?
And then I'm pretty sure back in Apocalypse they like brought up how Quicksilver is Magneto's son, but then like, did they even touch on it in this movie? I feel like
I don't remember them talking about that at
all. No, I don't think they did. And I'm just like, okay, so then what was the point of that? It's
has he ever had a Russian accent at any point, or is he supposed to be Russian, or is that something they made up for the Marvel movies?
I don't. Okay, it's weird because there's like different universes in which like Wanda or Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver are twins, but then like in X-Men she's like younger than him.
The Scarlet Witch never shows up in any X-Men movies, correct?
I don't think so. Okay. I mean, I think if we go back and watch Days of Future Past, when they go find Quicksilver, he has a little sister, and I think we're supposed to assume that is Scarlet Witch, but I don't think it's ever really confirmed.
See, that's why, at the very least, I am excited. I hope that this is the end. I hope they just stop.
I think they are, because, well, if we think about the ending, okay, she, like, ends up destroying herself in order to save everybody. So she's dead. Jean Grey is dead.
Is she dead at the end?
I think that's what we're led to. We don't see her again, do we?
We see there's, like, at the very end, it's like the camera's panning up, and you see, like, a fiery phoenix in the sky or some bullshit.
So she's like, they think she's
I don't
dead.
know.
And they renamed the school Jean Grey School for, like, gifted children.
Yeah, because Charles Xavier just wants
and
the
he
fame.
just like
Fuck
dips.
yeah.
He's like, peace, guys. And then he's in Paris playing chess
at
with
the
Magneto.
at the same cafe from both the end of Inception and the Dark Knight
Rises. So it's like, where is that? What, like the Warner Brothers lot or something? Probably.
Like, what's his Alfred? What's his Michael Caine?
Michael Caine.
Who's gonna like turn around and like tip his hat.
Guys, yeah. Christian Bale and Anne Hathaway are in the background with Leonardo DiCaprio. Yeah. Yeah. So then Professor X just dips out, and then Beast is the head of the school, and like Storm's a teacher now. It was dumb.
Can I give this movie credit for doing one thing?
Okay, what is that?
They didn't have a cameo by Wolverine.
Yeah.
Which is like, they've managed to put it in basically every single one except for like Deadpool, of course.
Right.
And like, they didn't put him in here.
I know.
And I know he said he's not going to do it again, but I'm just like shocked to not see him. He wasn't in Apocalypse either?
He did. He was in Apocalypse.
Fuck.
There's a scene where they like end up in Stryker's like lab, and they find him locked up, and Jean frees him, and she's like able to kind of like do her like weird telekinetic thing where she like calms him down. And I feel like, and that's the moment where you're like, he falls in love with her. Okay. And so I was expecting him to come back and like duke it out with Cyclops over Jean, but she's little and he's like this older man, because doesn't he like not age or something?
Wolverine?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's one of his shticks.
Because
I mean, like, he does age, but it's like really slow. Because like he was in like Vietnam, I think. Isn't that?
Yeah. Well, that's like, it's that whole thing. I don't know.
Anyways. See, that's more interesting than anything that happens in Dark Phoenix.
Right.
That's why
it's
we're
just talking about Hugh Jackman cameos.
Yeah. So I think that would bring us to final thoughts. So Liz, let's hear your final thoughts on Dark Phoenix.
All right. Well, I feel like the storytelling was just lazy. The script work needed a lot of work, because then it almost made it feel like the actors didn't want to be there. And as somebody who's been to acting school and has had to work on crappy scripts, yeah, when your script sucks, you want to be anywhere but there. And that kind of showed in their performance, very similarly to kind of what I experienced watching the last season of Game of Thrones. And then with that, I just felt like everything they did was kind of a cop-out. So it's like using Jessica Chastain, but she's just a total waste of space at that point. And then these shape-shifting aliens, but they look just like us. You never really see them in alien form. It was just, and then this ending. That ending felt like, okay, everything's fine now. She's dead. Professor X doesn't care anymore. We're going to rename this school. Like, it's fine. Just kind of, change everything that we set up in the first movie. And then it just felt lazy, and that no one wanted to work on the movie, but they had to because it was contracted. And never in my life have I felt more restless or wanted to get up and leave a film. So I would probably give this movie like 2 Christmas lights out of 10.
Yeah. I can't add much to that, because the director himself came out and was like, "It's my fault. I'm sorry."
Did he really?
He just like apologized for it. And it's like, at that point, like, what else do you have to say? Like you said, this movie was literally an obligation to these people. Nobody working on this movie, with the exception of Ty Sheridan, who fucking sucks.
Right.
It's like, feels like they want to be there.
Right.
And Ty Sheridan wants to be there so badly that it's like laugh out loud bad. So like, you've either got don't want to be here or trying too hard. And
right.
In the middle, they never meet. So yeah, this is a mess. I don't remember much other than literally just like scene to scene, like the action that happened. It's like, this happened, but I never really I couldn't tell you why for the most part.
Right.
Like, it's kind of just escaped my mind. And yeah, I wanted to get up and leave almost constantly throughout this movie. And I'm happy that this is hopefully the end of this franchise.
I think so.
Because they just need to start over.
Well, now that Disney owns 20th Century Fox, it's technically their property.
Yeah.
But Marvel will probably do better things with it.
So until then, don't see this. Just don't. I know you feel like you're obligated to go see it because you've seen the other ones, but I give this one Wolverine middle finger with his claw.
Metal claw.
Yeah, metal claw, middle finger out of 10. Like, this is bottom of the barrel. Like, this isn't even bad in a way that's entertaining. It's not funny bad except for that line, couple things. It's just like embarrassing.
It is. It's definitely, and to have such top like A-list actors in that
huge
film.
People. Yeah, everyone in it. Like the guy plays Beast is pretty big. Yeah. I mean, like all these guys are big actors, and like Jennifer Lawrence, who, I mean, she used to be big. I don't know what happened to her career.
I don't know what she's been up to lately.
But I feel like Brie Larson kind of stepped in and like took over.
She's now filled in she's like the Jennifer Lawrence of like going into the 2020s.
She's Jennifer Lawrence, except everyone hates her. So yeah, on that note, this has been our review of Dark Phoenix. Like I said, skip it. It's a waste of your time.
It's not worth your time.
And this review is coming out like a week after it came out, so you probably already have. But if you haven't,
just don't.
Sorry. Anyways, that is our review for this week. Keep an eye out for Toy Story, Child's Play, one of the two. I know I said I was going to do Men in Black, but hey, that movie looks like it's dog shit, and I don't want to watch it. So, and I'm too busy right now to waste my time with dog shit.
With mediocre films.
I already watched Dark Phoenix. It's like,
that kind of fills the void.
That's the quota for me, for a bit. So, on that note, as always, I'm Scott.
And I'm Liz.
Thanks for listening.